Welcome and thank you for joining us today for the Legal Rights While Employed in Canada presentation that is brought to you by the International Student Connect project. We're going to talk a little bit about your rights and responsibilities as an international student while you're employed here in Ontario, or in Canada for that matter. Now, your study permit is actually quite important when it comes to your opportunities to find employment. And we'll take a look at that very briefly. Now, as we go through, you'll find that you perhaps will find information that you always wanted, or there's more information that you require. If you do, we'll provide you with our contact information at the end, or you may go to some of the websites that we have listed here. We'll look at study permits and work permits. We'll look at the co-op or internship programs and how they relate to employment, the Employment Standards Act, and some of the International Student Connect resources that we have available for you. How does your study permit relate to employment? Well, international students are actually legally able to work in Ontario, and you may work you may work on campus, you may work off campus, and you may work as a co-op or an intern. Now, if you wish to participate in a co-op or internship program, you must apply for a work permit as well as a study permit. So there's a little bit of a difference there. To be eligible for a work permit, you must actually meet some of the criteria that we have listed here. You must have a valid study permit in order to have a work permit. And there are some scenarios where you do not require a work permit. So only if you are going to be doing a co-op or an internship will you require a work permit to do so. Okay? Now, no work permit is needed if you have a valid study permit for any other type of work. If you're a full-time student at a public or post-secondary institution, or a college or a university. So again, we say public or post-secondary institution because it may not necessarily be that you are in a college or a university while you're attending school. There are many different institutions that are approved to host international students here in Canada. Now, social insurance numbers are required. They are a requirement to work in Canada. So to work, whether you're on or off campus, you will need a social insurance number. Some of your study permits, not all of them, most of them will have some designated information printed on the documents. Some will say you may, bullet number 1, may accept employment on the campus of the institution at which registered in full-time studies. And that may be the end of it. Some may have both of these statements, these bullets. You may accept employment on the campus of the institution at which you're registered in a full-time study, or may accept employment on or off campus if meeting eligibility criteria as per R186, F, V, or W. This information can be found in more details at www.cic.gc.ca. If you don't have any of the 2 bullets on your study permit, you may want to apply for an amendment. To get the amendment, you're going to need to go to CIC's website to complete that before you submit the application for the social insurance number. Okay? To work on or off campus, you do need to to have your work permit has to be, I'm sorry, not your work permit, your study permit has to be valid. You can't have an expired study permit and be able to whether go to classes or find a job. So ensure at all times that your study permit is valid. We know of situations where the study permit has expired because the student finished one program and they were going to transfer to a second program, and their application for the extension on their study permit did not go into CIC on time. And because that did not happen, you now have an invalid study permit. These things can cause you to not have work because the employer is only legally entitled to hire you if you have a valid study permit, because your study permit links to your work permit. Okay, so these are the eligibility criteria that you must meet in order for you to work either on or off campus. You can find more information at www.cic.gc.ca. You may also qualify to work up to 20 hours per week off campus, and you can work full-time during winter, summer, and spring breaks. There's no inhibition for you working full-time while you're on a break. To find out your eligibility, do visit CIC's website and go through the self-assessment tool that is on the website. Remember, if your study permit does not have any of the conditions, you are going to need to submit to get an amendment for that. So just keep that in mind as you go through the process. We're now going to look a little bit at the co-op and or your internship if you are going to be doing a co-op or an internship program. For some academic programs, work experience is actually part of the curriculum, and to participate in a co-op or internship program, you must meet the eligibility criteria that is listed here. That means that as a foreign student wishing to participate in a co-op internship program, you must apply for a work permit as well as a study permit and meet the criteria that is listed here. So again, in order for you to take part in the co-op or the internship program, unlike regular working, you will need to apply for a valid work permit along with your study permit. Okay? Your employment must also be part of your academic, vocational, or professional training program that is offered by the institution that you are attending. And the co-op or the internship employment cannot be more than 50% of your total program of study. There are 3 steps that you will go through in order for you to apply for the work permit for the co-op program. You want to know, you want to determine whether or not you're going to do it online or if you're going to go the paper route. If you're going to go the paper route, if you're going to apply using paper, you need to download the application. The packages include an application and all the forms that you're going to need to fill out. So you'll need to go to CIC's website and download the application, the package with the application form. Once you complete the form, you'll attach all the necessary documents that is required, and then you will submit the application for processing. Let's look at the Employment Standards Act. The Employment Standards Act sets out the rights and responsibilities of both employees and employers in Ontario workplaces. And when we talk about the rights and responsibilities, we're talking about the wage rates, public holidays, hours of work, overtime pay or vacation pay, the criteria surrounding statutory leaves and statutory holidays, and also termination and severance entitlements. Please do visit www.labor.gov.on.ca. That's the labor markets website, and you'll find additional information on the ESA. Any employer who's covered by the ESA must have an employment standards poster published by the Ministry of Labor, displayed somewhere in the workplace for anyone to view. Just in case you would like to see it, it should be in English and whatever the other majority language is in the workplace, it should also be in that language. You can find these posters on the ontario.ca/employment rights website in either English or French, and a multitude of other languages. So it's in several different languages. Now, youth workers that are covered under the Employment Standards Act, or the ESA as we call it for short, are those who work in retail, restaurants and hotels, construction and farming, and domestic services. So there are some exemptions to those who are covered, but these are the areas of employment that are covered by the ESA. Also, for those who are working with temp agencies, you're also covered under the ESA Act. If you want more information, please do go and visit the labor market website, or you can visit ontario.ca employment rights website. We have some information available for you, some resources. We have our website. It's www.internationalstudentconnect.org. On this website, you will be able to access information on Ontario international students and where areas of study, different locations, different colleges, different universities, different regions. There are fact sheets. We also have additional webinars on our website that you can access, and we have a transition plan, which is a tool that actually helps you to keep track of the tasks and some deadlines that you have that perhaps you wouldn't be able to keep track of otherwise. For example, the Ontario Immigrant Nominee Program has several requirements and a few different steps and stages that you have to go through in order to qualify to access the Immigrant Nominee Program. If you're planning on becoming a permanent resident after you have completed your studies, this is something that you can absolutely take advantage of. Please do visit our website, access the Transition Plan tab, and get started on utilizing this tool. This project, International Student Connect, is brought to you by Costi Immigrant Services, who is the coordinating agency for the project that was actually created to address the needs of international students, and it is funded by the Ontario Ministry of Citizenship and Immigration Canada. Costi is a multicultural community-based organization with 17 locations across the Greater Toronto Area. If you do have any settlement needs, or you have friends or relatives who require settlement services, please do access our website at www.costi.org. And if you have additional questions about the International Student Connect project, please do contact us at 1-844-871-4567, or you can email us at isc@costi.org. Thank you again for joining us and for viewing our presentation. We do have live webinars that you can access. Simply visit our website and enroll for any one of the webinars that we have that will be live. Thanks again, and again, if you have any questions, you do have our contact information. We'd love to see you at one of our live webinars as well.